this movie today, and then they're like, are you gonna do it? No, I'm not gonna do it. And every day I was like, oh, maybe I might do this one. And I think about it for a few minutes, and then the next morning I say, no, I'm not gonna do it, because for some reason there was always this feeling of the movies that I write are inherently me, and I'll do a good job if I do those movies. My kids started to get upset when I say, they offered me Harry Potter today, and I'm not going to do it. They don't even look up now from the dinner table, really. They just get really angry. And my dad, he's really the practical one in the family, he got really angry when he went to Spider-Man over, and he's like, why didn't you do Spider-Man? You would have made so much money. Dad, wouldn't do a good job, I didn't have anything to say about me, and he's like, but you would have made so much money. So this is the running joke, so I didn't even tell them all the movies that would be coming in, so this is going on. And then meanwhile, at our house, my daughter at that time was 7, and she's watching this show on Nickelodeon, and she's totally into this show, and I kind of see it in the corner of my eye. She's in there watching it and not really paying all that much attention to it. And then my mom comes over to babysit, and then my mom talks to me, and she's like, there's Hindu things in here, this has Indian things in it. I'm like, that's right, Mom, we'll be back. And still not really paying all that much attention, and then, it was like my daughter was asking for an outfit, Tara's outfit for Halloween, and I'm like, who is this? And still not paying much attention. Then we went out shopping one day. We were at a bookstore, and they were selling DVD collections there, and she said, oh my gosh, there's the Avatar Last Airbender. Can we get the first season? I'm like, okay, look at it. So we get it, we go down to the theater in our house, and we watch, as a family, we all sit down to watch, like, oh, this will be nice, let's just sit and have a little moment here. We watched the first episode, and I was like, this is good. And we watched another episode, Literally, we don't leave the theater all day long. We haven't eaten, it's been like 5 hours. And I'm like, we need to go up and eat. So we go up to the kitchen, and I open the fridge, and I'm like, I just stopped, and I'm like, this would make the greatest movie ever. And the whole family like, Russ! And I'm like, I should go make this movie. And so I called up the chairman of Paramount, and I said, it was Brad Gray, and I said, Brad, can I meet you in New York? I want to talk to you about something. And I'm very secretive, I don't like to tell anybody what they're doing. And he's like, what is it? And it's just me in New York. So we met in New York, and I was like, dude, you guys have this show called The Last Airbender. I think it's Star Wars. And I'd love to make it for you. And luckily for me, he said yes. So, what we did right away was I assembled the greatest crew I could ever assemble. I got the cinematographer who shot Lord of the Rings. I got the costumer who did Harry Potter. I got the editor of Titanic. I got the stunt coordinator who did all the James Bond movies, and I loved the fighting in those movies. So we assembled this super triple A-list crew. And then we had to cast the kids. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show, but the first person I had to find for me was the Katara, and she's kind of the voice of the show, and really kind of takes us through the movies, and she's this powerful female role model, and I was just praying that this kid would walk in my door, and she did. She literally walked in, by the way, in the bathrobe for the auditions, and so whenever somebody walks in the costume, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work at all. And she walked in literally with like a bathrobe on, trying to, like as a costume, and then she started speaking, and I'm like, jaw dropped, and I called the studio, I said, I didn't want to make this movie if it's not this girl. So we found Nicola Peltz, who's playing Katara, and then I had to find kind of her brother, who's kind of the funny, heartthrob guy in the movie, and luckily for me, Jackson Rathbone, who's in the Twilight movies, came, and he's literally the character in the show. He's so funny and sweet, and they immediately looked like brother and sister when they were together. Now, the tricky part started to come, which I had to find the villain. And the villain is a really kind of torn character, very Shakespearean. And this kid from London auditioned, and he looked like that, right? And he auditioned, and I was like, oh, this kid is so great. I don't know who this kid is, but he can't play a villain, but he's just amazing. So I just kept him in my pocket here, and I was like, I don't know why, but I can't let him go. And then we were watching the movies that year, Slumdog Millionaire came out, and I was like, there's the kid! Right there! There's that kid! So I was like, call him, get him down here. And I called the studio, and I was like, is it possible? Could this guy, could we play a villain with that much basically, this is just a prayer, right? Because you have to believe